The Nexus Collective's first message arrived during the annual Unity Day celebrations on New Terra, humanity's most distant colony. Governor Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Unity Station, watching the fireworks paint the purple sky in brilliant colors when her neural implant chimed with an emergency alert. The message was brief but changed everything. Submit or face extinction. For 30 years, humanity had expanded cautiously into the stars, establishing colonies on 12 worlds while maintaining a carefully crafted image of technological mediocrity. Trade agreements with various alien species painted humans as skilled merchants and adequate engineers, nothing more. But Sarah knew better. As one of only 12 people privy to Project Aegis, she understood that humanity's apparent technological limitations were an elaborate deception. The Nexus Collective's ultimatum shattered that facade. Their massive fleet appeared at the edge of New Terra's system, organic-looking ships that resembled crystalline serpents, each one stretching kilometers long. Initial scans confirmed what intelligence had feared. The Collective possessed technology far beyond what humanity publicly displayed. But that wasn't the whole story. "Status report," Sarah demanded, her voice steady despite the growing knot in her stomach. Her command center staff worked with practiced efficiency, holographic displays showing the approaching fleet's formation. 87 capital ships detected, Governor, reported Defense Chief Marcus Wong. They're deploying what appear to be harvest ships, matching patterns we've seen in records of their attacks on other civilizations. The Collective's reputation preceded them. They were resource gatherers on a galactic scale, stripping younger civilizations of everything valuable, including their populations, which were processed into biological computers for their vast fleet. They expected New Terra to fall easily, like so many others before. "How long until the primary defense grid is ready?" Sarah asked, knowing everything hinged on timing. 20 minutes. Marcus replied. "The colonists are already in the shelter networks. Stealth systems are holding. They still think we're just another primitive outpost." Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. The Collective had no idea they were about to strike the most heavily defended human world in existence. New Terra's peaceful appearance masked a planet-wide defense system that had taken 20 years to build in absolute secrecy. The first Collective harvest ships entered high orbit, their crystalline forms catching the light of New Terra's sun. They made no attempt at subterfuge or complex strategy. Why bother against such apparently primitive prey? That's when Sarah gave the order that would change galactic history. Initiate Protocol Thunderbreak. Deep beneath New Terra's surface, massive generators hummed to life. In orbit, seemingly innocent communication satellites revealed their true nature as weapon platforms. The planet's 3 moons flickered as holographic camouflage dissolved, exposing massive military installations. The Collective's command ship transmitted again. "Your deception is noted but futile. Submit now and..." The message cut off as New Terra's defensive grid activated. Quantum-locked energy beams sliced through the nearest harvest ships like paper. Electromagnetic pulses designed specifically to disrupt crystalline computing systems wreaked havoc on the Collective's neural networks. Sarah opened a channel to Earth Command. New Terra Primary to Solar Command. "The Collective has arrived. Implementing Contingency Alpha 7. Requesting immediate support under Protocol Endgame." The response was immediate. "Understood, Governor. The First Fleet is already underway. Hold position and show them what humanity can really do." As New Terra's defenses engaged the surprised Collective forces, Sarah thought about all the years of preparation, the countless resources poured into this moment. Humanity had known this day would come. First contact with a truly hostile force. That's why they had hidden their true capabilities, why they had built New Terra not just as a colony, but as a trap. The Collective had expected to find helpless prey. Instead, they had stumbled into humanity's steel jaws. As Sarah watched the battle unfold, she knew this was just the beginning. The Collective would learn, as others would soon after, that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their hidden technology or secret fleets. It was their ability to plan, to prepare, and to turn apparent weakness into devastating strength. The age of human mediocrity was over. The galaxy was about to learn why humanity had spent 3 decades preparing for war. All defense stations, Sarah commanded, her voice carrying to every bunker and battle station on and above New Terra. Execute attack pattern Sierra. Show them exactly what humanity has been hiding all these years. The battle for New Terra had begun, and with it, humanity's emergence as a force that would reshape the galaxy forever. Deep within the Sol system's asteroid belt, Admiral Elena Santos stood in the command center of Olympus Station, Earth's most closely guarded military installation. For 30 years, this sprawling complex carved into the heart of Ceres had served as the nerve center of humanity's secret war preparations. Now, as reports from New Terra flooded in, those preparations were finally being put to the test. Status of the First Fleet. Elena demanded, her dark eyes fixed on the massive holographic display showing fleet positions throughout human space. All ships report ready, Admiral, responded Captain David Chen, her tactical officer. Ghost-class stealth systems are functioning at optimal levels. The collective still has no idea what's coming. The First Fleet represented humanity's true military might. 200 warships that officially didn't exist. While civilian shipyards produced modest trading vessels and colony ships, the hidden facilities within Ceres had created weapons of war that would have shocked the galaxy. Elena watched as the fleet moved through hyperspace, their quantum drives allowing them to travel at speeds the collective thought impossible for primitive humans. Each ship carried weapons developed through decades of reverse engineering alien technology and combining it with humanity's unique innovations. New message from Governor Chen on New Terra, announced Communications Chief Yuki Tanaka. Their defensive grid is holding, but the collective is adapting. They're bringing in reinforcements from the Arcturus sector. Elena nodded. Everything was proceeding according to the simulations they'd run countless times. Tell Sarah to maintain defensive operations. Don't reveal our full capabilities yet. Let them commit more forces. The massive holographic display updated, showing collective reinforcements moving toward New Terra. They were falling perfectly into humanity's trap. While the collective focused on what they thought was an isolated colony, they failed to notice the sensor nets going dark along their supply lines, or the strange energy readings that their instruments dismissed as background radiation. Time to unveil the Prometheus Protocol, asked David, referring to humanity's most closely guarded technological achievement. Elena checked the tactical overlay once more. The collective had committed nearly a third of their fleet to taking New Terra, believing they were facing the desperate last stand by a primitive species. They had no idea that humans had spent decades studying their crystalline technology, finding its weaknesses, and developing countermeasures that would turn their own ships against them. Signal the Second and Third Fleets, Elena ordered. Begin Phase 2 of Operation Stormbreaker. Throughout the solar system, hidden shipyards activated. Beneath the ice of Europa, inside the clouds of Jupiter, and within the rings of Saturn, humanity's full military might stirred to life. Ships that dwarfed anything the collective had seen emerge from their concealment, each one carrying weapons that would redefine warfare in the galaxy. Message from Earth Command, Yuki announced. The Security Council has given final authorization. The Prometheus Protocol is now active. Elena allowed herself a small smile. The collective thought they were attacking a vulnerable species, one that would be easily harvested like so many others. Instead, they had awakened a giant that had spent 3 decades preparing for this exact moment. Send word to all fleet commanders, Elena commanded. Operation Stormbreaker is now in full effect. Show them what happens when you cornered humanity. In the void between stars, humanity's hidden fleets moved with purpose. The First Fleet would arrive at New Terra in hours, but they weren't alone. The Second Fleet was already moving to cut off the collective's reinforcements, while the Third Fleet prepared to strike at their supply lines. Admiral, David called out, his voice tight with excitement, We're detecting quantum fluctuations from the collective fleet. They're trying to establish a direct neural link with their harvest chips in the new Terra system. Perfect, Alina replied. This was the moment they had waited for. Initiate the Prometheus protocol. Let's show them the true cost of underestimating humanity. Throughout human space, quantum receivers activated, sending carefully crafted signals into the collective's neural network. Their crystalline ships, so advanced and seemingly invulnerable, were about to become their greatest weakness. Humanity had spent years developing a virus that could infect their biological computers, turning their own technology against them. As Alina watched the operation unfold, she thought about all the sacrifices that had led to this moment. The resources diverted to secret research, the thousands of personnel who had lived double lives, the careful manipulation of alien perceptions, it had all been building to this. The galaxy was about to witness the unveiling of humanity's full potential, and the Nexus Collective would learn that sometimes the most dangerous prey is the one that appears most harmless. The void around New Terra erupted in light as humanity's first fleet dropped out of hyperspace. 200 warships, each one a testament to human ingenuity and determination, emerged precisely where tactical simulations had predicted they would be most effective. Commander Maya Patel, aboard the flagship Hyperion, watched as the collective fleet registered their arrival. Multiple energy spikes from collective vessels, reported Sensor Chief James O'Connor. They're attempting to reposition their fleet to counter our arrival. Their command structure appears confused by our presence. Maya allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. The collective's neural network, already compromised by the Prometheus protocol, was feeding them contradictory information. Their sensors showed human ships that shouldn't exist, wielding technology that should have been centuries beyond Earth's capabilities. Status of the quantum disruptor array? Maya asked, knowing everything hinged on timing. Charged and ready, responded Weapons Officer Liam Foster. The collective's crystalline computing cores are vulnerable. Their attempts to purge our virus are failing. The battle that followed would be studied in military academies for centuries to come. The collective's massive ships, each one a biological supercomputer, found themselves fighting an enemy that had spent decades preparing specifically for this encounter. Human vessels moved with impossible precision, their positions calculated to exploit every weakness in the collective's formation. Multiple distress calls detected, announced Communications Officer Sofia Rodriguez. The collective command ship is trying to coordinate a retreat. Their neural network is experiencing cascading failures. Maya opened a channel to all human ships. This is Commander Patel. Execute attack pattern Delta 9. Show them what happens when humanity stops holding back. The First Fleet's response was devastating. Quantum torpedoes, specifically designed to disrupt crystalline structures, tore through the collective's supposedly impenetrable hulls. Electromagnetic pulse weapons, calibrated to the exact frequency of their neural networks, caused entire ships to go dark. Second Fleet reports successful interdiction of collective reinforcements, Sophia announced. Third Fleet has begun systematic destruction of their supply lines. The trap is complete. In orbit around New Terra, Governor Sarah Chen watched as humanity's true military might was finally unveiled. The defensive grid she had helped conceal for so many years now worked in perfect concert with the First Fleet, creating killing zones that the collective's ships couldn't escape. Their command ship is attempting to broadcast a surrender signal, James reported, his voice tight with controlled excitement. Maya's response was immediate. Negative. We've studied their tactics for 30 years. They're trying to buy time to reconfigure their neural network. Continue the attack. The space around New Terra became a graveyard for collective vessels. Their crystalline ships, once thought invincible, shattered under the precise application of weapons designed specifically to exploit their weaknesses. Humanity had spent decades appearing weak, all while studying and preparing for this exact moment. Admiral Santos is signaling from Olympus Station, Sophia reported. The Prometheus protocol has achieved full penetration of the collective's network. We have access to their entire command and control system. Maya nodded. This was the moment that would reshape galactic politics forever. Humanity had not only successfully defended itself, but had also demonstrated a level of technological sophistication that would force every spacefaring species to reevaluate their assumptions. Send word to all ships, Maya ordered. Begin Phase 3 of Operation Stormbreaker. Don't let a single collective vessel escape. The galaxy needs to understand exactly what happens when you threaten humanity. Throughout human space, hidden defense platforms activated. Weapons that had been concealed in asteroid fields, beneath the ice of frozen moons, and in the hearts of gas giants revealed themselves. The collective had thought they were attacking an isolated colony. Instead, they had stumbled into humanity's killing grounds. New signal from the collective command ship, Sophia announced, her voice filled with disbelief. They're begging for mercy. Maya's expression remained stern. Transmit our standard response. Humanity remembers what you've done to other species. Your harvest ends here. The battle continued, methodical and precise. Every shot fired, every maneuver executed, represented years of planning and preparation. The collective had expected to find primitive prey. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant that had spent decades preparing for war, while presenting a facade of peaceful technological mediocrity. As the last collective ships fell to humanity's onslaught, Maya opened a channel to all human forces. This is Commander Pottle. Phase 3 is complete. The galaxy will soon know that humanity's peace was a choice, not a weakness. Well done, everyone. Well done. The Galactic Council chambers on Centauri Prime had never been so silent. Representatives from 30 spacefaring civilizations watched the holographic replay of humanity's victory over the Nexus Collective. Ambassador Michael Okonjo stood calmly at the center of the chamber, his dark diplomatic uniform bearing no military insignia, yet commanding more respect than any battle decoration could. For 3 decades, Michael began, his voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber, humanity has been dismissed as a minor power. You traded with us, patronized us, and some even pitied us. Today, that illusion ends. The holographic display showed the systematic destruction of the collective's fleet. Many council members shifted uncomfortably in their seats as they watched weapons and technology they had thought impossible tear through ships they had believed invincible. The collective's neural network has been completely compromised, announced Director Rachel Zhang of Earth Intelligence, stepping forward to join Michael. We now have access to their entire database, including records of every civilization they've harvested over the past millennium. The chamber erupted in shocked murmurs. The archivists of Proxima, known for their detailed historical records, activated their data crystals to verify the claim. The militant hegemony of Rigel, longtime rivals of the collective, leaned forward with barely concealed interest. We've already begun liberating their harvest worlds, Rachel continued, bringing up new holographic displays. The biological processing centers are being shut down. Where possible, we're working to restore the enslaved populations they converted into computing nodes. Ambassador Zextel of the Rigel hegemony rose, his crystalline form catching the chamber's light. How long? He demanded. How long has Earth possessed these capabilities? Michael smiled diplomatically. That's an interesting question, Ambassador. But perhaps the more relevant one is, how long have we been watching all of you develop your own secret weapons programs? The chamber fell silent again. Rachel activated another holographic display, showing surveillance data of hidden shipyards and weapons installations throughout various alien territories. Not a single species represented in the chamber had clean hands. Humanity's policy of apparent technological mediocrity was not merely a defensive strategy, Michael explained. It was a mirror reflecting back your own assumptions and prejudices. While you saw what you expected to see, a young, somewhat primitive species, we were studying everything. The Proximan archivists chittered among themselves before their speaker addressed the chamber. The implications of this revelation are unprecedented. The balance of power has not changed, Michael interrupted smoothly. Humanity's capabilities were always present. The only difference is that now you're aware of them. Rachel brought up new displays, showing the full extent of human space defense networks. We're transmitting data packets to each of your governments detailing the defensive capabilities we've identified in your territories. Consider it a gesture of transparency. The message was clear. Humanity knew everyone's secrets, and now everyone knew that they knew. The Nexus Collective represented a threat to all sentient life, Michael continued. Their defeat benefits everyone in this chamber, but it also serves as a reminder. Appearances can be deceiving. Ambassador Lystra of the Centauri Confederation, one of humanity's earliest trading partners, raised her luminescent appendage. What are Earth's demands, given this new position? Michael's expression remained carefully neutral. Demands? None. Proposals? Many. Humanity seeks stability, not dominion. We've prepared a comprehensive plan for galactic cooperation, including protocols for dealing with existential threats like the Collective. The chamber buzzed with activity as representatives processed this information. Humanity had just demonstrated the power to dominate the galaxy, yet was instead offering partnership. It was either the height of wisdom or an elaborate deception. Of course, Rachel added, her tone casual but carrying an edge. We'll maintain our defensive capabilities. The Prometheus protocol remains active, and we've discovered some fascinating vulnerabilities in various weapons systems throughout the galaxy. The implicit threat wasn't lost on anyone. Humanity had proven they could destroy one of the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. The fact that they were choosing diplomacy instead was either reassuring or terrifying, depending on one's perspective. We stand at a crossroads, Michael concluded. The era of secrets and shadows is ending. Humanity proposes a new age of genuine cooperation, backed by mutual understanding of each other's true capabilities. The alternative? He let the thought hang in the air. As the Galactic Council debated humanity's proposals, encrypted transmissions raced between alien capitals. The galaxy's political landscape was transforming, not through conquest or subjugation, but through the revelation that the quiet species from Sol had been the most dangerous all along. 1 year after humanity's victory over the Nexus Collective, Captain Diana Chen stood at the viewport of the research vessel Prometheus, watching salvage teams dismantle the last of the Collective's massive harvest ships. The crystalline structure, once a symbol of terror throughout the galaxy, now seemed oddly fragile in the light of New Terra's sun. Another memory core recovered from the central processing chamber, reported Dr. Aidan Foster, the ship's chief xenobiologist. This one appears to contain consciousness patterns from the Andromeda expedition. We might be able to restore more victims. Diana nodded, remembering the shock that had rippled through human space when they discovered the true horror of the Collective's biological computers. Each ship hadn't just been powered by enslaved minds. It had been built from them, countless beings converted into living processors. General Santos is requesting an update on the restoration project, announced Communications Officer Weijong. Earth Command wants to know if we're making progress. The past year had transformed humanity's role in the galaxy. The facade of technological mediocrity had been replaced by a new responsibility, leading the effort to heal the wounds left by the Collective's centuries of harvest. Tell them we've successfully restored another 1,000 consciousness patterns, Diana replied. The proximal temporal stasis fields are working exactly as our simulations predicted. We can preserve the recovered patterns until we can grow new bodies for them. The Prometheus project had evolved from a weapon of war into something far more profound. The same technology that had allowed humanity to infiltrate and destroy the Collective's neural network was now being used to save its victims. In her office aboard the Prometheus, Diana reviewed the latest reports from across human space. The political landscape had shifted dramatically since their victory. Former rivals now sought alliance, while old allies struggled to adapt to humanity's new position of power. Message from Ambassador Okonjo. Wei announced. The Galactic Council has ratified the Restoration Accords. All signatories have agreed to contribute resources to the recovery effort. It was a diplomatic triumph that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. The same species that had once dismissed humanity as primitive were now following their lead in the galaxy's largest humanitarian project. Dr. Foster wants you to know they're ready to begin the next phase of consciousness transfer, Way added. They've identified patterns belonging to the lost Arcturian philosopher kings. Diana made her way to the ship's restoration chamber, where rows of quantum stasis pods housed the recovered consciousness patterns. Each light represented a life that could be restored, a civilization that might be rebuilt from the ashes of the collective's harvest. You know, Aiden said as she entered, when we first developed the Prometheus Protocol, I never imagined we'd use it like this. It was supposed to be a weapon. The best weapons, Diana replied, are the ones that can heal as well as harm. That's something the collective never understood. Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent alert. The ship's sensors had detected something in a previously unexplored section of the harvest vessel, a sealed chamber containing consciousness patterns far older than any they'd encountered before. These patterns, Aiden breathed, studying the readings, they're from the first rise. The original spacefaring civilizations that vanished 50,000 years ago. We thought they were lost forever. Diana felt the weight of the moment. Humanity hadn't just defeated the collective, they had inherited their knowledge, their technology, and now, their deepest secrets. The responsibility was enormous. Send word to Earth Command, she ordered. Tell them we found something that changes everything we thought we knew about galactic history. As the message was transmitted, Diana reflected on humanity's journey. They had hidden their strength for decades, playing the role of the humble newcomers while preparing for a war they hoped would never come. Now they stood at the dawn of a new era, not as conquerors but as healers. Begin restoration sequence, she commanded. Let's show the galaxy that humanity's greatest strength isn't our weapons or our deception. It's our ability to rebuild what others would destroy. The Prometheus's quantum processors hummed to life, channeling the same power that had once brought down an empire into the delicate work of restoration. In the chamber below, the first of the ancient consciousness patterns began to stir, awakening to a galaxy vastly different from the one they had known. Humanity had proven it could win a war through preparation and ingenuity. Now they would prove they could win the peace through compassion and determination. The age of secrets was over. The age of restoration had begun.